didn't even get to cross.
Hey guys, how's it going? And welcome to. We're going to be covering two things. We're going to be covering lights and cameras. Create in your hierarchy, go into light, and there's a few types. We're gonna go to point light first, or you can create it by going to game object light in here. So point light basically just illuminates one part of your scene, basically where it is. So as you can see right here, it's just one little spot, and that's where it is. So if you move it away, it'll slowly fade, and if you go closer, it'll be lighter. Okay, so the point light, its properties are range, how far it goes. So if you make it farther, it'll illuminate farther. And the color is just a color, so let's make it like a blue. And the intensity is how powerful it is, just like that. And the bounce intensity allows you to vary the intensity of indirect light. So if the light that is bounced from one object to another. So that was straight from the documentation, if you guys want to see it. But I don't really use that much, but you might in some instances. So shadow type, there's hard and soft. So if you go to hard, it's more sharp around the edges, but if you go to soft, it's like faded around. So it depends on what you want. And the strength, so let's go to soft actually, and let's go to the strength 100. So if you go like that, it fades away. Cookie, not like the edible cookie, but you know what I mean, like the cookie here, the texture only affects the alpha of the color, so that like the transparency, so it's like an overlay kind of thing. But for the point light, it doesn't take a 2D texture, it takes a what's it called? A cube map. So, but basically cube map is a combination of like 6 textures, and it represents the reflection of the environment. So yeah, if you want to use that, you can search up what a cube map is, but that's basically what it is. So that's a point light. Now they're all pretty similar. So a directional light is kind of a sun. Oh, I forgot. Culling mask. We'll go into that later with cameras, 'cause that's usually what it's used for. So the directional, it's kind of like a sun. It doesn't matter where it is in the scene. The position is not important. It's the rotation that's the most important. So see here, the rotation. You gotta play around with it here. That's basically, it's all rotation. So it's like a sun. It illuminates everything in your scene. And you can also put a cookie on this for directional and spot. I think you can use 2D textures, which Unity provides also. But you can also get your own, make your own. So all of these are the same. Shadows, everything is the same, except you can add a 2D texture, cookie. I'll show you how to do that. So you go to right click, import package, and you go to effects, and you can import everything if you want. And then these are cookies right here. So see how there's like an overlay. So if you want a flashlight in your game, there's like a little overlay for that. Halo is basically kind of has the feel of like dust around your light. See, like fog, if you want that. It's kind of like a light over light kind of thing, if you want that kind of feel. That's like basic. That's basically what it is. And then a flare, which I didn't specify with the point light. You'll see what it is right here. It's at the position of the light. So here, if you guys can see right here in my scene, it looks really nice. Just like that. Just like a little flare for your sun or for your light. The final spot, our spotlight, has a pretty big flare. So the flare is like radiated from the position. So I'm gonna turn off the flare because it's kind of huge. None. So spotlight is basically what it sounds like. It's just one little spot, which you can tell from the little lines here where the spy is gonna be rendered or cast. So just like that. And then there's different properties for this one, or settings. So the spot angle, increase the angle, lower the angle, the intensity. So now we're getting the camera. So every project comes with its own main camera. You can make more than one camera, which is what we're gonna talk about soon. So the clear flag determines which parts of the scene will be cleared. And this is handy for multiple cameras. So that's from the documentation also. So skybox is just gonna handle the skybox in the background. If you just want a solid color, just like that, you can have that also. Culling mask, which is you basically which layers are rendered on this camera. So if we just want the cube to be rendered, so we're just gonna make our own layer here. So you can go to add layer, and we're gonna well, we already have hide cube, but you basically type in hide cube in the layer, and then you go to the cube, and then you go to layer, hide cube, you go to the camera, culling mask, go to nothing, and then just press hide cube. There you go. Which is kind of the opposite of what it is. So we're gonna change the name for this to say show cube. So show cube. And if we go to default, it won't be rendered because it's not on the layer. So, but we're just gonna render everything right now. Okay, so projection, it toggles the camera's compatibility to simulate perspective. So perspective is will render the objects in a perspective intact, and orthographic, the camera will render objects uninformally with no sense of perspective. So orthographic is kind of like this. So as you can see, it's kind of like a 2D kind of feel. You know what I mean? So if I move this camera around, it's kind of like a 2D side scroller kind of feel. You would use this for like a side scroller or like 2D games. So perspective gives it that like 3D kind of look to it. Yeah, that's simply what it is. Okay, so we're gonna stay on perspective, and the field of view is the camera's width, or like the view angle. So increase it like this, zoom in and out. That's basically what that is. Clipping panes is the distance from the camera. It should start and stop. So start, if you want to start from there for some reason, but you wouldn't want that. Viewport vector is basically the values indicate where this on the screen this camera's view will be drawn. It's basically how big the view is. So the X position. Okay, there you go. So that's basically how the camera is shaped, basically. Okay, so that's viewport rect, and then the depth, okay, is basically, so the higher the depth, this is for multiple cameras. Okay, so I'm actually gonna explain this by making another camera. So camera, and we're gonna make this depth only. Okay, so it's only focused on the depth. So see here, it has nothing. It's basically just the depth. And we're gonna make this a depth of -1. We're gonna have this a depth of 1. Okay, so see that? So basically the cameras with the higher depth will be drawn on top of other cameras with smaller. So -1 is smaller than 1, so it's gonna be drawn over. So same as if I put this as -1 and put this as 1, this will be also drawn to the screen. So see, just like that, it's kind of like a ceiling now. So that's basically how that works. You would make it higher if you have more cameras, you know, that kind of thing. So we're actually gonna make this -1 again. We're gonna delete this camera. Okay, so that's basically depth. In that, that's just a basic example. All this stuff you don't need to worry about right now. And so I think that's it. That's it for cameras and lights. And I hope this helped. If you guys are still curious, you guys didn't understand, you guys can search up the, or actually I'll put in the description, the Unity documentation. And yeah, so I hope this helped. This video helped you guys. And we're getting closer to finishing the basics in Unity. So Stay tuned for more videos. Stay awesome, guys. Peace.